Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, folks, it is stupid o'clock in the morning. To be exact, it is 3:42 a.m. Central Standard Time as of right now. And folks, we are taking a step back from victim testimonies and written blogs and taking a look at this morning. The rector of Judge Rotenberg Educational Center indicted in connection with destroying evidence in a criminal investigation. This comes back from 2011. Remember the incident I told you where he was able to step down in a plea bargain? We are going to go ahead and dig into this and see what you all think. But before we do, a few disclaimers. First off, you are going to see this document, as well as other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign right there in the description box. Folks, I shouldn't need to tell you the templates to stop harmful restraints, the templates to stop the shocks. It's all in there. There's a link from Outreach with things that you are able to do out in your communities in order to help us get it done. Change.org petition is also there to be signed to shut this place down because let's face it, until we actually do that, these things will continue. The JRC has proved time and again that they are masters of getting away with everything. And the few times that they don't, they're real good at maneuvering and squeezing their way out of any trouble. And somehow this is allowed to continue, in spite of the fact that due to them, under their watch, 6 people have died. So, without further ado, this is from the mass.gov website. As you can see, it's part of the Wayback Machine, which archives a lot of old articles. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, another disclaimer. You can tell I'm not awake yet. It's my Monday, leave me alone. You're going to hear vivid descriptions of, and sometimes actually see video surveillance clips from the video surveillance, but I can't talk. You get the picture. You see clips of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you have young ones present, folks, please go ahead and wear your headphones. Also, as you noticed, I'm less awake than I am normally. So if I stumble over my words or just mangle them horribly, my apologies in advance. Alright. JRC agrees to independent monitor to review policies and make recommendations on changes to protect students in the future. You could try closing them down. I'm pretty sure that would take care of it. Pretty damn sure that would stop the torture. Closing them down. But we can't have logic in autism treatment now, can we? Thank you for reinforcing that, Spectrum 10K. Fucking appreciate it. Dedham. The founder and executive director of the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, JRC, has been indicted on the charges of destroying evidence and misleading a witness in connection with a series of events at JRC's Stoughton facility, where 2 students were injured as a result of improperly administered shock treatments. Improper. Bleh. It's always improper to shock people for existing while disabled, by the way, just in case any of you all had any questions. On May 20th, 2011, a special grand jury in Norfolk County returned indictments against Matthew Israel on charges of accessory after the fact and misleading an investigator or a witness. At Israel's arraignment today in Norfolk Superior Court, he entered into the sentencing agreement for a pretrial probation. Under the terms of his probation, Israel is required to resign from his position as executive director of the JRC as of June 1st. It is also prohibited from working for the JRC or serving as a member of its board of directors. Oh, how horrible. He had to step down from being head torture dick. He belongs behind bars. They all do. And the fact you can't see that, Massachusetts, is disturbing. The fact that you don't see the fact that 85% of the students there are people of color and they're being tortured, and yet you're progressive, you're somehow not racist, you're somehow not ableist. And I got some riverfront property out in Arizona. Seriously. As a result of its investigation, the Attorney General's office also entered into a deferred prosecution agreement with the Board of Directors of the JRC to appoint, at the JRC's expense, an independent monitor to review the events that occurred at the Stoughton facility. The monitor, retired Judge Isaac Bornstein, shall complete an evaluation and issue a report with determination as to whether the JRC has instituted sufficient measures to prevent similar events from occurring in the future. Oh, for God's sake. Can we trust any of these fuckers, considering how often you all give him a free fucking pass? If you all don't consider shocking people for living while disabled, if you don't consider that torture, you don't deserve your office. You don't deserve to be in public life of any kind. You belong behind bars with the rest of those fuckers who are doing this directly. Just saying is all. If the monitor concludes that sufficient measures do not exist, they don't exist, by the way. It is never okay. The report shall recommend specific measures the JRC must institute to prevent a similar incident from happening again. You could close it down. I'm pretty sure that would prevent it. Yeah? Pretty sure, aren't you? The monitor's report is due by October the 1st, 2011. A violation of the deferred prosecution agreement may lead to the JRC's prosecution. They should be. God, what the hell do we have to do to get these fuckers truly investigated? All the skeletons dug out, all the surveillance footage out there. How many people, how many of us have to die before you shut this place down? We believe that Dr. Israel created a system and environment at the JRC that failed to prevent a lapse of this magnitude, said Attorney General Coakley. I believe he created an environment to torture, and you all agree with it because we're just disabled people. So it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, it fucking does. Just think, one of these judges that have done the free pass can get... I'm not wishing any of this to happen. But you can join the disability community at any time. And guess what? What if you have a brain injury? What if you end up in this place? Think on it. Dr. Israel then attempted to destroy the evidence of events and mislead investigators, and that conduct led to his indictments today. It should have led into further investigations. God. Today's action removes Dr. Israel from the school and should ensure better protections for the students in the future. You want to know what would be the best protection? Close it down. On August 26, 2007, a series of events occurred at the JRC's Stoughton facility during which two students received improper skin shocks, resulting in injuries to both students. The events represent a violation of the JRC policies as well as treatment plans. Oh, because those are just wonderful. Remember Jennifer Masumba's treatment plan? Yeah. How about your constant violation of their human fucking rights by continuing to allow this place to exist? What about that? After learning that circumstances surrounding the administration of the skin shock treatments were improper, they're always improper, JRC staff notified authorities. An initial investigation was conducted by Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, and then the matter was turned over to the Attorney General's Office for investigation. Students and staff are constantly monitored by personnel at the JRC's Digital Video Recording DVR Center in Canton through video recording cameras installed throughout residential facilities. We all know how creepy and messed up those monitors are. Yeah, do you all know? Massachusetts? The monitor is to sit there and watch the disabled person at every move and will get on to staff if they're not pinpointing enough behaviors and shocking them? Well, now you do. During the course of the Attorney General's investigation, authorities discovered that the events of August 26, 2007 had been recorded through the DVR Center's video recording system. Within days of the event, however, it is alleged that Dr. Israel ordered the recording equipment to be removed from the Stoughton House and secured in the JRC main building. Once at the JRC main building, the recording was shown to state investigators from the Department of Social Services, Disabled Persons Protection Committee, and Early Education and Care. How the hell this didn't horrify people to the point where they realize this needs to stop, as opposed to, oh, we just need stricter regulations as to when to allow it. It is further alleged that although JRC had cooperated in the past and provided investigators with videos upon request, it would not do so in this case. Investigators ordered JRC to save the video. Authorities determined that Israel instead instructed a JRC employee to destroy the recording. Israel indicated to that employee that the investigation had concluded and the recording was no longer necessary. The Judge Rotenberg Educational Center is a facility with locations in Stoughton and Canton that treats children and adults with behavioral and mental functioning issues. Oh, aren't you all cute? It's the same shit we hear every time. Extreme measures for extreme situations. There is no situation so extreme that it requires the hell you put those students through. And yes, I am calling out all of Massachusetts as well as the JRC on this. You all let that place continue to exist for decades when you know damn well what's going on inside that building. The only time you've all taken any action at all is when the whole world had a microscope on you. Well, there's a microscope on you now, Massachusetts, Canton. For once, do the right thing. Or you're just as guilty as they are. A key component of the JRC's regimen of treatment and discipline is the administration of low-voltage shocks by JRC staff to the bodies of resident students. They're not low voltage. Oh my god, why do you keep taking their word for this shit? Why? Why? It's not low voltage. Not to mention, why the fuck is discipline included in any way in regards to a treatment of a neurological disorder? What the hell is wrong with you to think that this is okay? We must discipline the autisms out of them. We got to discipline that intellectual disability out of them. We got to punish the disability out of them. That's not how any of this work. The hell is wrong with you, Massachusetts? I thought you were progressive, full of this highly intelligent scholars. Really? Really? Because when there's a state out in the middle of the damn Bible Belt that knows better than you might want to second think on whether or not you're so progressive. Israel was responsible for many of the treatment programs at the school, including the skin shock treatments and the device and this whole crazy bullshit you all keep buying into that you think it's okay to punish people for being disabled. The skin shocks are being administered by JRC staff using a graduated electronic decollator. The skin shocks are part of the students' treatment plans and designed to deter unwanted behaviors such as self-mutilation or aggression. Yep, you've bought the line. You have really bought the line. You know, the most reasons they are shocked is for non-compliance, right? Because God forbid we question our masters. God forbid we question your neurotypical bullshit or make you feel uncomfortable. You uncomfortable? Good. You should be. You really should be. And you all wonder where autistic bitterness and neurodiversity bitterness comes from. You want to know where depression comes from, Spectrum 10K? Shit like this. The JRC received approval from the court and other state agencies to appropriately utilize this treatment method. Because that makes it better. Well, the court system says, so if a court determines that it is right and good to violate someone's human rights, does that mean their human rights are not being violated? No, it doesn't, Karen. The case was being prosecuted by Assistant Attorney General Glenn Koha, Deputy Chief of AG's Coakley's Criminal Bureau, and Assistant Attorney General Marina Moriarty, well, that's an appropriate name, of AG's Coakley Enterprise and Major Crimes Division. It was investigated by the Massachusetts State Police assigned to the AG's office and investigators of AG's Computer Forensics Lab. The Stoughton Police Department also participated in the investigation. So, few things come from this article. First of all, what is it about Massachusetts and this state, particularly this court system, that they are so desensitized to the suffering that these guys are going through? What is in the water out there that makes them think that it is okay to punish us for being born different? Like, seriously, like this infection, I'm gonna call it what it's an infection, spreads out from the JRC through the court system, even through some medical circles. I don't understand how people who are supposed to be so intelligent, so progressive, and so liberal can yet turn their backs on the disabled. They will hammer on human rights, and then when you bring up human rights violations being done in their own backyard, they turn their heads and say, extreme cases, extreme measures, and close their eyes and their ears to the suffering. When the fact of the matter is, a good majority of the time, it's not severe cases. Look at the story of Jennifer Masamba. Look at her medical sheet. We have it here on this channel right under the description box over the things that she would be shocked for. And you all just buy it. I don't understand. I don't understand. And on that sad note, we are going to go ahead and wrap it up for this morning. So, folks, we don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments, feed that algorithm. I do appreciate your time this morning. And as always, we here at Smelling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye bye.